Really interesting about this is the opposite of what the market is doing, and how you can play these is very similar. You just kind of have to, it's basically like flipping, you just kind of like flip it upside down, right? Hello, hello, and happy Friday. Today was a pretty good day. It was a little tricky at the open. Got a lot of rubber banding, as one of my trading buddies likes to call it, around just one of the levels on the SPY. So it was really difficult to like get anything into a trend until a little bit later in the morning. But so I've got the SPY up here on my screen, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's see. Well, first we've got this range on the SPY, right? And then if I go out to the daily, oops, and show you that I've showed this yesterday, but just, another little, in case you didn't catch yesterday's recap, you can see what I'm talking about here. So we've got this kind of range that has set on the SPY. So we've got these areas. Oops, you get the point. And so we're kind of trading in this area. And every time we get to it, we just kind of bounce around, and so we're in it again. So I'm looking for the bottom and top of this range as either rejection or breakout plays, as far as the market goes. So I'm correlating this with the stock that I choose to trade for the day. So when we come up on the SPY this morning, we are sitting right at the bottom of that range. So I'm thinking, either we're going to get a break of this range and we're going to downtrend, or we're going to hold and we're going to bounce back up into the range. And so I was kind of waiting to see what it was going to do. We did have R3 on the SPY sitting at about 429. What's it at on my other chart? 429.28-ish. So that's, let's see, where's that? 429.28 is somewhere around here. We've got S3. So we've got S3 lining up with this level on the lower end of the range. So, pretty significant in that regard as far as like my strategy goes. So I'm waiting to see what it's going to do. Is it going to break below these two levels, or is it going to hold and trend up, like I said? So I'm watching that. And so I traded Ford and Oxy again today. Ford was very tricky. Oxy was awesome. So a little bit opposite of what they were yesterday. But yeah, so Ford was the first one. And let's bring that up. Show you what I was looking at here. So I'm still looking at the same levels I've been looking at for the past week. But just to reiterate, I've got this range here on the daily. And, I'm looking for the top and the bottom to play. And this morning, when we were in the pre-market, we were pretty close to the bottom of the range. We tested it and bounced up, and we've also got, I believe, R4. Actually, you know what? I'll just pull these pivots up really quick so you can see them on this screen. Yeah, there we go. So on Ford, got the lower end of the range right here. Oops. And then we've got our S4 here. So, the SPY kind of has a similar setup, right? So the SPY's got the lower end of its range, but then it's got S3 down here. So I'm really looking at this area this morning, and it really struggled. It did not know if it wanted to go up or down. The whole market just kind of sat there. At least the stuff that I was watching was just kind of sitting there. But so how I played this was the SPY broke below its range and S3, and it was really holding underneath it. And at the same time, Ford is below its level and, trying to break below S3. So I actually thought this was a short at the open. I wanted to play a bounce back into this range for the most part on the market, during the market. Wow, it's been a week with the market today. But when it was really struggling to hold, I was like, oh man, is the SPY going to break lower? Because if the SPY breaks lower, it's probably going to take Ford with it. So I actually entered into this quite a few times here, thinking, because it just cannot get back above this level. But then as soon as the SPY, and I was just holding until the SPY broke above that level. I was just using it as a guide. Again, so the market can be your guide in these other individualized stocks. So once the SPY broke above and was holding above the level and S3, I was like, no, it's going to take forward back up into the range. So I actually flipped my position here, and yeah, just flipped the entirety of it and wrote it up here. And when we got to this point right here, the SPY, I'll bring that over here really quick so you can see. When we got up there, so when we got up to that point on forward, SPY was getting right back to the top of its range right here. So we've got the bottom of it and then the top of it. So, and it was, and it also has R3 up here. So it was kind of struggling to get up past here. And I just saw both of them starting to roll over. And so I was like, nah, and I just hit all out of forward. I was waiting actually for like 30 more cents, I think, on forward before I was going to get all out. But when the SPY was resisting the top of that level, I was like, there's no point in me being in this anymore. So I just got all out of that. So I actually ended up a little bit above break even on this one with the flip. But yeah, nothing special. And then Oxy was really awesome this morning. So on Oxy, brought this up yesterday. Take the pivots off so you can see better. So we've got this range. This is what I was playing yesterday as well. We've got this range right here from before the sell-off during the pandemic, and we're coming back to test it for the first time. And so that's what I'm looking to play. And yesterday I caught a long on it and missed a short play, and so I was definitely watching it this morning for a move to the downside. Let's see. But again, it kind of just depended on what the market was doing. But what's really interesting about this is the opposite of what the market is doing, and how you can play these is very similar. You just kind of have to, it's basically like flipping, you just kind of like flip it upside down, right? So in the morning, this broke up and it's trending up, and as it's getting up here, the SPY is starting to break up through that level. And as the SPY is breaking up, this is pushing down, and it's not following the SPY. So that at that point, I'm like, it's holding true to its own ranges and its own pivots. So we've got R3 up here, and we've got the bottom of that range. And what's also helpful keeping you in a trade is if it doesn't follow what the market's doing, and the market really is just giving it the pullbacks. So when this sold off, so I shorted here, and as this was selling off, when the market sold off, it would like really sell off. And when the market started pushing up, it was like not pushing as fast as the market was pushing. So like we would get this move on the market, and we'd get like this move on Oxy. And then every time the market made this tiny little pullback, Oxy would do this. And so it was just totally going opposite of what the market was doing. And every time it got pulled up, it was just because of a little bit of like the market moving up. So yeah, that kept me in it. And I basically just, I partialed and I added here, and then I got all out here. So it was a really clean trade. What I was looking at for my partials in this was, show you. So if you look at the 60-minute, you can see that it's the 60-minute alone. So outside of that weekly range, you can see that the 60-minute has also started to set up its own range. And so within that, again, I'm using the bigger time frames, the weekly and the daily, for the levels that I really want to enter at. And then I'm using the intraday ranges for partialing. So I was looking for the middle of this level for a partial. And then I wanted to get in at the more like the bottom of or get all out at the bottom of the range. So that's what I did. Oh, and for this ad, I think is interesting. So similar to Ford, when I got out of Ford, I think it was, yeah. When I got out of Ford, was the same time that the SPY hit that level, and this is exactly when I added an Oxy. So as soon as the SPY the SPY is trending, and Oxy is just like, doing this, right? So I really wanted to add. So I was actually waiting for the SPY to get up here and hopefully reject this level for me to get an add into Oxy. And that's the exact time I added. So I got all out of Ford there, but I added into Oxy here. And then we just got a nice second move down. Yeah, it was a really fun, clean trade this morning on Oxy. again, the morning was rough, especially on forward and with the market not knowing what it wanted to do around that level, but you just got to be patient. I probably just shouldn't have taken forward, to be honest, because it was so stuck where the market was stuck. But luckily I came out alive in it. But Oxy was like the killer for the day. So yeah, hope you guys had a good week, and I'll catch you Monday. Peace.